Boy, Geno has to feel that high seas.
He's just reading Geno Smith. The Bears show pressure start on defense. A secondary spirit, dropping everybody out in zone. And just look at Biden.
Snap on 3rd and 10. Throws a go, and he's picked.
Center that they really struggled a couple weeks ago against the Detroit Lions' eyes. He is all over Jacoby Myers. He sees the route difference when they give an offense this look.
Raiders are up 2 on 3rd down so far.
This looks like the interception from the first quarter.
Protected this time. Geno over the
same look. Fired in the middle.
And that's picked. It's fired.
Same play. He's going to look at Myers coming inside.
His second INT of the half.
Unbelievable.
We're trying to win the Super Bowl. Ben Johnson wants to build a dynasty. We want to be the guys that get this thing started.
Ben Johnson wants to build a dynasty. We want to be the guys that get this thing started. Well, you know what, man? Byard had that kind of a game where, dude, such a respectful game, in my opinion, for the position that he's in the point of his career that he's in, as a veteran on that team, to go out there and lead that defense to a 4-turnover game. And, David, when you have a 4-turnover game in the NFL, do you know approximately maybe what the winning percentage is?
Upper mid 80s, 85, 88.
So if you win the turnover battle by 3 or more, it's 90%.
Yeesh.
Which is exactly what we did, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, we also let up 240 rushing yards to the Las Vegas Raiders. Do you know what the Bears' all-time record was before this game, when they've had let up 240 rushing yards?
Probably like, how many times did they let it up? 25. So let's say like 2 and 23 or something.
Dude, since 1979, you're 0-1.
Damn, that's how few times they've done that. That's good for them.
Yes. So, yeah,
I think that's impressive that they only have done that few times.
Yeah. Since 1979, that's what it is. And so, yeah, those two things kind of contradict, but now you're 1-1 when letting up that many rushing yards. And dude, you do it. The defense handed you this game on a silver platter. I guess we're known as the negative guys. It's fine. I don't care. Right. And you can live with ups and downs when you're winning football games. I said this last week. And David, we go back and forth on this a little bit, and it is something we kind of disagree on to an extent, and I want to kind of dive into it. I was such a meathead when it came to you play to win the game. It's because I go to these games. I've been to a meaningless last game of the season and sat in those damn seats in the freezing cold till the very last second of the game, right? So for me, it matters something. And then the year where we had the opportunity to get that number 1 overall pick, you swayed me with just sense. Like, dude, what's the point of winning a game or two at the end of the year and not getting the number 1 overall pick? Well, here we are, and like nobody would remember 3 years ago if we won a game or two at the end of the year right now. But instead, we have DJ Moore from it. We have Darnell Wright. We have Caleb Williams from that, right? So situations are different, and how you handle situations as like when you don't deserve the win and you feel like you're a mediocre team, you would almost rather just lose sometimes just to have it be what it be for the end of the year. I would make the case that because it's Ben Johnson's first year, you want to stack those wins, even if they're lucky wins, even if they come from blocking a field goal at the end of the game. You got to do it, because you cannot in this league start off as a head coach with a really bad record and crawl your way out of it oftentimes. Like, I don't know. I want to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think from the beginning, I texted you within, I think by the end of I texted you when Kevin Byard laid out that dude on the sideline, where I said, I think if Kevin Byard doesn't get this win, he might he might just retire by the end of
Yeah.
game 4. Like if Kevin Byard puts his body on the line, like I respect Kevin Byard. He's probably your best team captain right now. It was pretty awesome for him.
While we're on him, he's a free agent at the end of the year. Do you sign him?
If he wants to come back for another year or two, I think he'd be at the very worst a backup when you draft a young guy, or like teach the young guy for a year and then. Because I don't think you can afford
another 2-year deal.
I don't even know if it's 2, because I think by the end of the season he's going to be what, 33.
Yeah,
he's old. Like I think he's I'm not saying old. He's
Kevin
NFL
Byard is
old.
currently 32. Yes.
So by the end of the season, going into next year, he'll be 33.
Yeah, you're right. More than 2 years doesn't make sense. He might want a 3. You might give him a 3-year guaranteed 2.
No, I think you give him 1 more year, because Paulie, I think you're doing like a negotiation tactic here. Nobody else is going to give him 2 years. No one on the planet, no other team in the world will give him 2 more years.
Okay.
No. So it doesn't matter how young he is or how old he is, but just nobody's going to give him a 2-year contract with safety that did good but not great. He's been playing well in Chicago. If he doesn't want to change teams around too much and just kind of wants to like retire after 1 more year, he's like a professional. Give him like another 10 mil or something and be like, hey, dude, because you can't afford to draft a safety in the first round this year. You need so much more. So like if you can get a 3rd round safety that's like a project and have Kevin Byard like work on him for a year and then don't even play that kid for a year, that's ideal. But that's
sensible. But here we are.
It's putting a lot of
pick 7 safety.
Yeah, but it's putting the cart before the horse a lot. But you get what my point is. Like, so Kevin Byard, good for him. He's probably like, I would say pound for pound, him and as amazing as it sounds, him and Noah Sewell are probably like your hardest playing defenders at this point in the season. So like, good for them. I forget your question. Like, what was my thought on the game, and what's my thoughts on wins and stuff
overall,
for Ben Johnson?
Overall, winning, coming away with the W with that game with a blocked field goal. I mean, I know we talked about it, like usually we've been on the other end of those games often.
I'm in the middle, as I think most people are, and I've been like we talked on Sunday and Monday about what is the narrative and what is the like perception of that win. I think it's actually much closer to where we are than we thought. And so it's obviously, if it's a 100-point scale, it's 51% yay, 49% nay. Like
I think let me correct it. 49%, but there's the problems. Like
yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
dude, they're glaring.
If it's a good thing to win a game or a bad thing, like it's not a bad thing that they won that game. There's no like draft stock in play yet. There's the negatives of losing are much worse than the positives of winning, kind of thing. Like if this was like week 16, week 17, and a draft pick 7 slots was on the line, then yeah, you could argue it. But like right now, we don't know.
Yeah, no, definitely. And like I said, way early in the season, you do want to build up motivation within these guys, within the locker room. Yeah. And it's a for sure head coach.
Even if it's delusion, I think it's positive. Like positive delusion right now is like what you need out of this team and what you need for Ben Johnson's players. So even if they think they're better than they are, that's fine. I think at the end of the day, I think if any quarterback, not maybe any, but I think if 20 other quarterbacks were playing instead of Geno Smith, you probably lose that game quite easily. I think if Kevin Byard, if like the defense doesn't play so well, and that's the moving goalpost thing that annoys me. It's like, well, Caleb's been amazing and he's getting no support and he's not, the defense sucks and the running game sucks. It's like, cool. And this was like an opposite of that. Like the running game didn't do well. The defense didn't do amazing, but the defense definitely kept you in it. And Caleb was not the reason you won that game. And now it's like, what a gritty team win, guys. Like, I guess if that's how you're going to win games, but this is not a sustainable winning model.
Do you know? No, correct. It's not going to last long term. And that's the problem with it is these issues are already popping up and they're glaring. And like I said, you can live with it when you're winning. However, these things are big enough to where long term, they're going to bite us. And you're not going to, miraculously win games by blocking a field goal at the end when you give up 240 rushing yards. Like that's That is
Well,
crazy.
at one
Giving
point,
up 50 points this year as well. So, like, good for the defense with getting the turnovers. But, man, they can't stop the run, David. Period.
yeah, you talked about the turnovers. How many, like, getting 4 turnovers? Paulie, do you know after the first 3 turnovers, how many points they scored off of 3 turnovers?
Weren't we down?
No. Well, yes.
Oh,
You scored
I
6
think
points off of 3
6 to
turnovers.
14 it was at one point,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
I don't know if it was that bad, but you got 6 points off of 3 turnovers. And so that's just kind of like one of those things where it's like, that's not even complimentary football. You talk about gritty team wins and complimentary football. That's not even complimenting each other. It's just like this is like throwing shit against the wall and hoping it sticks more than anything. And so my problem with it is that, like, we'll get to the comparison side of it. It's just like you played another game where I have no idea what you're trying to do and what your identity is as a football team. Like, somebody picked up the pieces, and, like, you can't really throw the ball that well. You can't really run the ball that well. You can't defend the run that well, and you're not getting interceptions that well. And then your coaching staff is saying one thing, and then they're doing the other on the football team. And then when you win, you just say, well, guys, it's a gritty team win. But it's like, but you didn't do anything that you planned, and you didn't really execute what you thought you were going to do. But at the end of the day, you just say, well, we won, so gritty team win. That team, like, the Raiders lost that game. The Bears didn't win that game. Let's be honest.
What the Bill Parcells quote I love: more games are lost in this league than are won. Right? Like, if you just play a clean game, dude, and your defense gets you 4 turnovers, you should win that game, right? But seeing the offense stall out multiple times, David, I'm going to mute you because I hear an echo. Seeing the offense stall out a couple times was definitely very concerning. Okay, so they came through at the end on the last drive with scoring a touchdown, right? But other than that, it was, Cole Kmet dropping the ball was an issue, right? Like, there were a lot of issues. I thought a positive was Monangai looked good. I thought he did pretty well. And honestly, David, the reason you won that game is because on that last drive, you found out how to somehow contain Max Crosby, which you could not do all damn game. I mean, he had one of his games, and that guy's a machine. I love that guy. Dude, I don't think he's ever leaving the Raiders, but if he ever did, I would love to have him as a Chicago Bear. But yeah, I mean, dude, we pulled it off though. We won, and this, although it's not the way I thought it was going to happen, I did have him at 2-2 going into the bye week. But here we are again, familiar territory, huh? Bye week followed up by Washington. We've been there before. So I think there's a feeling at the pit of the stomach for most Bears fans right now. Just due to the game last year. Dude, this cat has – I love how every week in the NFL has something to it, right? This has a chance to actually be somewhat of a statement game. If you come out there and take care of business this time against Washington and handle your business, execute cleanly, I think it could say something and actually help this team achieve a higher record than at least I predicted at 6 wins. So I don't know. I think this is going to be a good turning point coming out of the bye week, because if they have an extra week to prepare, at this point, injuries are not extreme. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's a big game. What do you think?
I think it's like, I don't know, man, because they've kind of fooled me too. And it's like sucks because I just have to keep predicting losses. And then if I'm wrong, it's because they won by a slim margin. The only thing I would say is, like, the Dallas game looks a little bit better all of a sudden because the Cowboys actually competed the last few weeks, or, basically most games. And then against Green Bay, they competed really, really well. So I think the NFC in general is just kind of confusing. I think if Jaden is back, this game is going to have a lot more hype to it. And I think the thing that confuses people about the Bears is that it's the same way when I try to bet the Bears every week. The bets are always within like 1.5 to 2 to 3 points. which basically, if you don't know betting, like means it's basically a toss up. I don't know. It could go either way. And that's okay in the first year of Ben Johnson's thing. But I don't know if it's a big game. I don't think it's as big of a deal as people want to make it out to be. I think Washington regressed as heavily as we do. Here's the thing. Like, let's say the fact that it's a big game, it kind of doesn't matter who it's against, right? You're asking, like, is it a big game because it's the Commanders? It is a big game because you're emotional about it because, like, they collapsed after the Washington game last year. But it kind of doesn't matter. You're 2-2, and whoever you are matched up against, it's going to kind of set the tone for the rest of the season. If you were matched up against Buffalo next week, you'd be like, well, that's a loss. Let's see if we can bounce back after that one.
Right. So you think if you collapse in Washington in another game or two, you don't think that matters?
I do.
If you start repeating exactly what you did last year?
I do, because I think it'll be more indicative of how the rest of the year will go. Right? Like it's an important game because I think it's a tone-setting game because you're going to get some players back, right? So you're going to be healthy now. So that excuse is gone. You're going to get an early bye week, which Ben Johnson during the preseason was talking about how I kind of don't like early buys, but it's going to be really helpful in my first year because it's going to help me compartmentalize the first 4 weeks of the season, see what we're doing well, see what we're not doing well, and then adjust to that. And so it's like, then that excuse is gone, right? It's like the mini bye with Justin Fields when they changed the whole way they ran the offense and then they played better. So your excuses for not having defensive players will be gone. Your excuse for not having planning time will be gone. Your excuse for, not running the offense that Caleb is comfortable with will be gone. So like, to me, it's important where it's a bye week and the excuses will run out after this one. Like if you come out flat against the Commanders, which is at this point a pretty even game. I don't know what the Commanders' record is. I think it's 2-2 if it's not 3-1.
Who do you think's a better team?
Commanders by a chunky margin, not by a lot, but I think they're, on a point scale, I think they'd be like a 70 something, they'd be a C+. I think the Bears are a D, D-.
They are 2-2 and second in their division.
Right? So you've got 2-2 teams battling it out, and it's going to end up being this like obnoxious hype up against like these two even teams that are even and all this stuff. I think the Commanders are a better team, but like, God forbid the Bears pull it off and barely do it by some miracle. It's like, it's going to be more delusion. And I don't know when the delusion stops because it is a lot of it back to what we said. And it's annoying because it's like our gut feeling and the eye test versus what these games look like and what these games are ending up as. Right? So like the only game you've actually won this year handily is Dallas. Like you played your balls off against Dallas. You planned well against Dallas. You played well against them in terms of defense, offense. Like the Raiders game is a 50-50. So like you've played a complete
football game, a complete
right. Like you've played 1 out of 4 really good football games. So it's like seeing how this goes against the Commanders. I don't think it'll be as catastrophic as possible, but let's play it out. All right, like something on each side. Say you dominate against the Commanders, dude. Bears fans, the way they've been going lately, like they're gonna start predicting Super Bowl. Well, we're tied for first in the division with the Lions, right? And we're Super Bowl bound if you dominate the Commanders. If you get your ass handed to you by the Commanders, the sky will be falling, and it will be exactly the same as last year, where those 2 wins against 2 weak teams, they really didn't matter because the Raiders are probably going to end up with a top 10 draft pick and the Cowboys are probably going to end up with a top 10 draft pick. Because I'm looking at the schedule from last year and you won against the Titans, which ended up with the first pick. The only noticeable win was really against the Rams, who were out Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp that week. And then you beat the Panthers and the Jaguars, which both ended up with like top 5 picks. So it's like, it's going to end up being similar. So it's like, play it out after the fact. I almost want to play out the result more than I want to play out like, what do I think is going to happen? Like if you smoke the Commanders, it's going to be good. I'll appreciate it. but you also had 2 weeks to plan. You kind of ran out of excuses. The team looks ready and looks prepared. If you get smoked by the Commanders, the sky is going to be falling really, really fast. And then it's like either way when it's a close game. If you win a close game against the Commanders, you're back to where you are today. And if you lose a close game to the Commanders, you're kind of back to where you are today too. Oh, we almost had it. If it only went our way. I don't know.
But I don't know. So like I hear you, and I hear what you're saying. Like with the record being 2-2, you can handle a loss. Like you said, if this was Buffalo, you would just pencil it in, right? And you, because you probably know that your likeliness of beating a team like that is very low. However, you can definitely handle a loss, and I think you can even handle a close loss depending on how it happens. Because of last year, it could,
Yeah.
last second come would be just terrible, but you can't repeat what you did last year. But I hear you. But if you do come out and have a complete game, another one, a second one, like I said, I think that has a chance to really make a statement. And then you start turning the corner between that blind faith and reality. The more of those complete games that you put together, dude, that's where you want to be. Like that's where, once again, this team has poured so many resources into offense. Like you need this offense to click and operate and not come out flat. And when the defense sits there and hands you the football and you turn the ball over, like you said, compliment it. You're built for it. You're built for that. Like when you get those opportunities, you need to come away with points. David, once again, I'm here and I'm going to meet you. But so I described it in the way I think about it, right? Is the teams that scare me the most are teams that win and win in different ways. Like one of the reasons I was kind of afraid of the Lions last year is because different situations came up throughout their season and they overcame a lot of them. You know what I mean? You got to win with special teams, you'll win with special teams. You got to win with defense at the end of the game, you'll win with defense at the end of the game. You want to win with offense at the end of the game, you'll win with offense at the end of the game. And so just having those different phases come through for you in clutch moments, I think that it kind of scares me. It's kind of what I'm seeing out of Tampa Bay right now, to be honest with you a little bit. But that's the top tier echelon of teams, in my opinion, right? Then you have teams that can stack up wins. But we all know, like, and I go back to, like, the Vikings with Kirk Cousins getting 12 wins. And I was like, yeah, sure, playoffs, great, 12 wins. But it's Kirk Cousins. Like, it's going to fail. And he did. You know what I mean? And so you have those teams that, like, get those victories, but you're still not completely bought into them being top-tier echelon teams. And then you have teams that are just trying to find ways to win. And whether people want to admit it or not, that is currently where we're at. We're trying to just find ways to win and get this thing rolling and get this thing going so that we can accumulate those wins. Dude, I was thinking about this. Who has playoff experience on the Bears? Like on the Bears roster? Joe Thuney? Tremaine Edmonds? Did Byard with the Eagles? No? Okay. David, if you want to unmute yourself, like who has playoff experience on this team?
I don't think
DJ Moore
anybody
doesn't.
No, I think it's literally Joe Thuney. Maybe Jonah Jackson by like association. Like he was on the Rams when they made a playoff run, but they didn't like do anything with him. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like being the negative versus the positive, like if you're gonna be positive, it's definitely a better experience of like Ben Johnson's first year than negative, like if it's anything, it's positive
you want to
delusion.
see this thing move forward, though, and the more it continues to move forward and repeat, that delusion starts becoming reality. It's when you sink. And
It's
you
not.
It's when the floor doesn't rise. It's when the floor stays low.
Dude.
You know what I mean?
If you just keep winning these random games in random ways, are we really like? You said this last year, right? And you said this year about people who talk about last year, where it's like, but if this happened, but if this happened, but if this happened, we would have won that game and won that game and won that game. And at the end of the day, like, yeah, you could have blamed Eberflus for a lot of it, and you could have blamed, certain players for a lot of it. But at the end of the day, a lot of them just come down to like lucky football plays, right? Like getting blocked by a kick or whatever. And right now, you are 1 out of 1 opportunities that went your way. And if you want to ride that, like you said, like the Minnesota Vikings, who won 8 one-score games that season to end up like 14-2 or whatever. If you want to ride that out, be my guest. That's a quick way to like get disappointed the following season. My only point is I just want to see something in the eye test that like Ben Johnson can prove that he's changed about this team other than keeping every close game but winning with like a blocked field goal. Paul, I don't really think people can comprehend their feelings and their results-based bias about the Raiders had a 52-yard field goal to win the game. Like Steven Carlson. Steven Carlson is a great kicker. He probably makes it. And if you look at the trajectory of where that kick went off before Blackwell hits it, it probably goes in.
Do you know how they blocked it?
Yeah, some sort of tell in the football.
Yeah,
that
so
long. No, it's not even
snapper.
Richard Hightower. The long snapper spotted it.
Yeah, so the long snapper for the Raiders moves his butt a little bit right before he snaps to just kind of get.
Do you know who noticed
he raises his butt?
Team?
He raises his butt. Yeah. Who?
Our long snapper spotted it and told it to Richard Hightower.
Good. I mean, that won you a game.
That's fine, but again,
I hear you.
You can identify a tell.
The Raiders are not a good team. Like they're not a good team.
Get a blocked kick. You were a Josh Blackwell miracle away from being 1-3 and being like, well, the Bears fucking suck. We're going into the bye week as a loser, and yada yada yada. And it would have been the same old shit and the same old story. And we're just trying to keep it like steady. And it's like, but we won and it's 2-2. It's like, yeah, dude. But it could have been just as easily 1-3. And so like I just haven't seen the progress from this team 4 games in. Like you had one game that has lived up to what you hoped Ben Johnson would do to this team. And it was Dallas. So out of 4 games, if you extrapolate this, so what? You want to have 4 games every season where Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams are clicking? Like this needs to start being 2 games next. Like you remember the old Lovie Smith the quarters thing, right? You have 16 games. It's 4 quarters of 4 times of the season. In the first quarter of football, you've had 1 game out of 4 where the Bears have lived up to the hype that everybody built them up to have. They are luckily 2-2, which is a positive. I don't accept anything better than 2-2. People want to say, oh, but the Vikings game could have been a win and we would have been 3-1. No, shut up. Then you have to give me that this game would have been a loss. Right? So like you are what your record says you are. And you dominated the Cowboys, and then you got dominated by the Lions. So like the 2 toss-up games ended up as a 50-50 split. Right? So it's like that's what you expected kind of thing. But I just need to see in the next 4 games, 2 games in which Caleb and Ben Johnson are like absolutely clicking. Like something on the offense has changed. There's like 2 amazing games out of Caleb instead of 1. I can't have 1 game out of every 4 where Caleb and Ben Johnson are just like super locked in and on the same page and everything's going well. And then the other game is like a miracle, and then you end up 8-9 at the end of the year. Like that's not sustainable, dude. And if you do think that that's sustainable and you go 8-9 at the end of this year, that's probably what's going to happen the next year. It's just you need to see consistent, like by the end of the year, I need to see them rolling where even if they lose, there's 3 out of 4 games where Caleb is just a fucking madman. Right? We're out of the last 6 games of the year. 3 of them is Caleb is a fucking lunatic. He's passing for 450, 3 touchdowns. If I don't get that by the end of the year, and it's kind of the same product, which through 4 games, it hasn't really shown itself at all. You can argue Dallas was a good step in the right direction. I don't think that was like Caleb lighting the world on fire. We've had that conversation already. Like, it was still a very Caleb game. I don't know, man. Like I need something more than this. I need
to give him credit when credit's due. But Yeah, the hope is that we do see it progressing. What we're saying is we need it to progress. It's not that we don't see it. It's just that's what
No,
needs to
what he's
happen. I mean,
saying
I'm
is
not.
if
We're
we
not.
don't. No, what he's saying is that we're losing it because we don't think that the Bears and Caleb are getting better. That
So
Caleb and Ben are. What evidence
so,
do you have to tell me that Ben and Caleb are better now than Caleb was with Shane Waldron
so there is
or
statistical evidence for
anything?
sure. There is statistical evidence, but so far, listen, I'll give you that. Last year, we had one complete game from him with him in Carolina, which was also a bottom ranked team, right? Like you said, Dallas may wind up being this year. And David, I hear myself, I'm muting you again. And so we had that game last year under Shane Waldron. So I hear what you're saying. It's what happened after that that really led this thing to where it is. So that's what we're saying is we need that to not only continue, but progress. 1 out of 4. No, let's make it 2 out of 4. I hear you. And like, if it is 1 out of 4, but you manage to squeak out 3 wins, you could still live with it, David. And but the idea is to progress, and the idea is to get better. And you want to hold your quarterback at that standard. Like I see the stat line going around. Oh, Caleb's the best touchdown to interception ratio for any first overall pick ever. Okay, well, Peyton Manning had the worst at one point. What does that say, right? So, dude, this is a long-term game, but you do want to see that progress, and that progress has to be evident, and it shouldn't take an extremely long time either. Like, once it happens, it happens. So, David, I love the question that you asked me, and if anybody in chat wants to answer it too. You asked me yesterday, you're like, what have we learned about this team so far this year? And I absolutely loved your answer to it. So I'm going to ask it to you. What have you learned about the Chicago Bears so far this year?
And like to elaborate more specifically, like that you didn't already know going into the season, right? And I thought about this after I asked you it because I kind of asked you it as a loaded question, right? So like, what have you learned about this team that you didn't already know going into the offseason? We expected the line to be good, but not elite, right? What are they so far? They're good. They're not elite. We haven't learned anything there. That's exactly what we expected. We expected the running game to be bad, pretty bad, like almost bottom 5, bottom 10 bad. Guess what they are? They're bottom 5, bottom 10 bad. We haven't learned anything about them. It's exactly what you expected. I would say from the receivers and the tight ends, what you learned on offense is that Rome is truly a number 1 wide receiver by like any metric, by any standard. It's a pleasant surprise. I'll say it's a pleasant surprise. That's kind of where I'm at with that. It's nice to have Rome. I don't know if Caleb would have like hyper fixated on a different receiver instead. Like he hyper fixated on Keenan Allen last year, for God's sake. Like Keenan Allen was your leading receiver last year, and so it's like I don't know. It's back to my theory on wide receivers and good quarterbacks. Like they're gonna figure it out. Like Josh Allen doesn't have any elite receivers. He's still putting up all the stats. So I do want to give credit on the positive note that like Rome is truly a number 1. Other than him, like what you have on offense. Like that you don't need any more receivers to draft. They're all good. They're all fine. In the tight end room, I don't think you learned a damn thing. I think you realize that Cole Kmet is mediocre, that it's exactly what you expected. Cole Kmet is not doing better under Ben Johnson. He's the same Cole Kmet. Maybe he's just not as good as everybody hoped he was. And then that's pretty much the entire offense. And that Caleb he's okay. If you want to make the argument Caleb is progressing, I'll hear you out, but he's pretty much what we expected so far. At the very least,
you could find statistical progress.
Sure, dude, but like what we're saying is like people going into like how quickly we all forget. Everybody's expectations of Caleb was he'll have a rough early start, he'll get better as the season goes on. He's had a rough early start. Hopefully he gets better as the season goes on. Yes?
Yes. Is he projected to kind of wind up where we thought he would? Let me look that up. Let me do that math.
Yeah, do that math real quick. But yeah. And then so like on defense, the defensive line was like expected to be mediocre. It's mediocre. The linebackers were expected to kind of step up. They kind of haven't, but also TJ Edwards is hurt. And then the secondary was supposed to be pretty good. They're mostly hurt and they're fine. The thing I've learned about on defense the most is that I think we have a player effort problem, because when you see Noah Sewell just playing his ass off and he looks better than half the linebackers out there, I think there's an effort problem on this defense. Like, the defensive line is limited to its limits, I think, but everywhere else, it's just kind of I don't know, man. Like, it's an effort problem. I haven't learned much about this team. And this is when the reason I framed this question to you is I said, this is going to be kind of a boring in between year. Right. And I don't think anybody really understood what I meant by that. And I'm like, it's playing out exactly as I implied, me saying that this is going to be kind of a boring year to watch a football, where it's more of a transition year. Like, you're figuring out what works on this team and what doesn't work on this team. And so far, I think the only thing you can say without a shadow of a doubt that works on this team is Rome Odunze and maybe the offensive line. Everything else is still, well, let's wait till next year to fix it and improve it.
Yeah, I mean, but we kind of knew that the offensive line was more than a one-year project. And, here, I got the stats, right? So Caleb Williams is at, here, I'm going to mute you again. Caleb Williams is at 927. So multiply that by 4, right? You have 3,700 yards with one game left, right? So 3,700 with one game, potential to reach 4,000. 8 touchdowns, you'd be at 32 touchdowns with one game left, and 8 interceptions with one game left. So, yeah, I think he's actually playing a little bit ahead. If you were, and dude, I hate doing this, like projecting it out over the course of the year, because if he lays an egg a game or two here and there, like, to me, I hear you. Like, you can make arguments with statistics and stuff like that, but I prefer to do the eye test argument. And when it comes to complete games, I think that's really what you're looking for. When it comes to control of the offense, when it comes to leading this team through the offense, and yeah, that was definitely something that you lacked against the Raiders, and so it is concerning. This thing does have to get going, and the wheels do have to get turning, at least on that side of the football. As far as the special teams go, dude, they really helped lose you week 1. I'm glad they made up for it. They needed that. Good job by them. Continue that. But dude, I don't know. I find this team to be in an interesting spot. Teams do turn the corner kind of quick in this league. And so if that is going to happen to this team, it's going to happen. And if it doesn't, it's going to play out exactly like you're saying it, because they're not going to sink. They're not going to collapse like they did last year, this and that. But the damning thing, David, is they could get better. They could even get better than our expectations. So like I said, we're pretty low at 6 wins. They could even come out with 8-9 wins this year and still be 4th in this damn division.
Well, the worst thing that happened to everybody's brains is, I think, the Vikings being mediocre and the Packers being like 3-1, 2-2, 2-2. Or no, I'm sorry, 2-1-1. 2-1-1, right? So now everybody's going to start comparing and being like, well, we're not that far off. You're a lot further than you think you are. I would say that. And we said this question last year with Caleb being a rookie. And I think it was unfair to ask last year. But the only reason we asked is because everybody was predicting 4,000-yard seasons and 40 touchdowns from a fucking rookie. And now we're in the second year with Ben Johnson, and everything's been fixed, and all of the things that he's gotten have been given to him. So my question is,
if you're Adam Mason, you predicted 5,000 yards, but go ahead.
5,000 yards from Adam Mason. So my question for you, would you rather be 3-1 and this team being a much more well-rounded team, a running game, and Caleb being a game man and defense playing better, but you still have no idea what Caleb would be doing? Or would you have preferred to be 1-3 at this point and Caleb averaging like 275 and 2 touchdowns He had a sprinkle of a 400-yard game in there somewhere with 4 touchdowns and just looking like Joe Burrow mini. What would you have preferred right now?
I've waited long enough for this plan to unravel. I could wait a little longer. I would rather have the 1-3 with the eye test showing me that the future is going to be right.
And that's kind of my only point with like people who want to argue that like, Joe Burrow's good because he sucks. His team never does anything, but he looks good. It's like, I get why you want to believe in the Bengals. I get it. Versus, other opposing things of like if your quarterback's doing well or badly, but you're winning games, like I can't think. That's the thing too with that argument that I can't stand. Show me a team that's like 4-0 right now, but their quarterback sucks ass, and the rest of the
Colts?
team is doing it.
What about the
Does he
Colts?
though? Does he?
Dude.
Does Daniel Jones suck this year? I agree with you. On paper, Daniel Jones is like tied with Josh
3-1. 3-1. I don't know how many 4-0 teams there are in this league right now.
I'm waiting. I am waiting for the Daniel Jones collapse.
And
but
then
he kind of keeps playing well, Paulie.
But no, what you're saying though is who do you believe in more, the Colts or the Chiefs?
Right. The
Right.
Colts could be
exactly.
4-0 right now, and the Chiefs could be 1-3, and I'd still take the Chiefs in the playoff game
100%
in a heartbeat.
Yep,
right? And so,
exactly.
So it's a fucking stupid argument. It's an asinine argument because show me a team that's like 4-0. Like 4-0 is too early in a season to really do anything with that. Show me at 9 games in. Show me a team that has 7 wins and has a dog shit quarterback. They don't exist.
I've watched 5-0 teams collapse.
Yeah.
The Bills did it one year. The Vikings have done it. Like, dude, I've seen those teams.
But like, show me a team 9 games in that has a dog shit quarterback, but somehow they're 7 or 8 games winning. Like that doesn't exist. It just doesn't happen.
No, I mean, dude, we were 7-3 one year when we lost Jay Cutler. We wound up 9-7.
wasn't
then we had a dog shit quarterback and wound up 9-7. Like we won 2 more games after that, right? So like, I hear you.
My point is like, you're 2-2. It's a very small sample size. But if Caleb doesn't fucking start, if Caleb can't give you like 2 mind-blowing games in the next 4 games, like you need to, like if you are impressed by 295 and 4 touchdowns, how do Colts fans feel?
Oh, I'm impressed, but like if you do
what I mean?
If you repeat it.
Yeah, I need to see it 2 or 3 more times.
No, it's an impressive game. I'm not taking anything away from that. That was a great game by him. So, dude, it's interesting to me. I had something I totally forgot.
I'm just saying, like, to wrap that point up, I really, really, really want Caleb and Ben to work out. And like, whatever changes they make, I don't know if you've heard about what changes they're making right now, but apparently if Darnell Wright's not ready, Ozzie Trapillo is the like starting right tackle. Braxton Jones got benched. And he's going to stay benched. And Theo Benedict's going to start. And, like, that is totally fine with me, dude. Yeah, I'm so fine. I'm so okay with any of these accountability moves. Like, that's totally cool with me. Let's start trading away DeAndre Swift. Let's get Alvin Kamara. Let's go get Dameon Pierce from the Texans for a 7th-round pick. I don't give a shit. Get bodies in here that want to play hard. Because, like, right now you have that kind of problem going on right now. At the same time, in the next 4 games, I need some sort of like accountability from the quarterback. He can't keep going 175, a touchdown and a pick, but winning games. Like that's just not going to make me happy, man.
I hear you. As long as we're winning games, I will be happy though. But
I'm not.
It came back, and I told you that's why I will, because my key detail that differs this is it's Ben Johnson's first year. Like I need those wins. If not for Caleb or what, like for that guy, I need those wins. And if accountability is true and real, no matter what the record is, you'll hold guys accountable. I mean, the Ravens got rid of a quarterback after they won a Super Bowl. I keep repeating what the 49ers did. Look at what the Rams did with Jared Goff. Like, if that's a real thing, then you will hold guys accountable even if you're a successful team, right? But I need those wins for Ben Johnson. But what I wanted to talk about kind of came back to me. And what it is like you laid out the scenario. Well, would you rather be 3-1 but be more of a complete team, right? Because it is hard to win in this league for sure. But those wins can mean different things depending on what situation the team is in, right? So you even said, would you rather be 3-1 but have it more of a complete team, or would you rather be 1-3? Well, here's the thing. The reality of the situation is we're not a complete team. We have major deficiencies, right? So because of that, we need our first overall pick to not just be good. We need him to be a superstar level good, which is what we're trying to hold him accountable to. You know what I mean? Our bar is very high for Caleb. And that's what people don't understand. It's like, oh, you guys are haters. No, we want to be very satisfied by him because he's got the potential to do it, and you drafted him high enough to where that potential, that expectation exists. And so, yeah, dude, it's a rough situation to be in because of the situation the team is in. And then it's maddening because why the fuck do you then draft tight end 2? Like, that's where I'm at. Like, come on.
That's part of
You
the
see what I'm
problem,
saying?
dude, is like people want to give more excuses so far. He needs a little bit more time. When is time up? When is gelling up? When is it that the
30,
left
what is it?
tackle's a problem?
29 games from now. No.
Right? Like 3 more seasons. Like, when is it enough? Like, I think Cole Kmet almost got himself cut in the offseason with that performance. And I honestly wouldn't even be mad. Like, yeah, if you can get out of that contract somehow, do it. Like, that's okay. Durham, Smythe, and all those guys picked up the pieces just fine. Like, start Loveland. It's fine. I get it. But, like, how much more help does this guy need to be fucking successful? You gave him the coordinator. The line is better. The fucking, like, what, left tackle is, like, the only weakness on this line, and you're like, that's the reason he can't perform. Like, all right, man. Like, people have definitely done it before without it.
Appreciate you, Sam. Enjoy the game, man.
Yeah, Sam.
Oh,
Tie
and
game. Good game so far.
Speaking of Yankees, Red Sox, is that what you're doing, looking down constantly?
Not really. I'm just kind of.
No? Oh, okay. No, I wasn't sure. What is the score?
3-3.
Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah,
Bottom
and
of the seventh.
so, I know we're a football show, but
I'm a
thank you,
sports
Sam.
person.
We appreciate you. We appreciate our
Thanks, Sam.
dedicated fans
Nice
and
words.
listeners. I gotta give you a little shout out. Congratulations to your shitty ball club for
Oh, suck my ass. They lost.
Probably
Probably didn't even know.
Fuck it. For what first time in 3 years, we'll entertain some baseball talk. What do you think they're gonna do in the postseason? I think
We'll find out tomorrow, because if you don't win tomorrow, you don't even make it to the postseason.
Oh.
So
okay, yeah, that's right.
it's a wild card.
And then it's whoever wins faces the Brewers Saturday, right?
Yeah. So the Brewers and the Dodgers are 1-2, and that's gonna be a rough matchup, man. So
Didn't you
it's
take the manager from the Brewers?
you did, Craig Counsell. Yeah.
Sounds like what the Bears got going on with the Lions.
A little bit, and he was supposed to be the secret sauce, and apparently that the Brewers are just the secret sauce.
The Ben Johnson sauce isn't that good. No.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know if like, this is the thing about going 2-2 and going into a bye week, though. The projection for the rest of the year for me has not changed at all, and I would have liked it to. And that's kind of like the thing, is that I don't understand why people don't understand where we're at. Like, we're Bears fans and we just have higher standards other than like hope and a prayer. And at 2-2, with the way that 2-2 has happened, I'm not okay with it going the rest of the way. 3-1 would have made me fucking. You want me to hop on the train? I would have hopped on the train at 3-1.
Right. I predicted this team at 6 wins. I had them at 2-2 going into the bye week.
Yeah, I don't change anything about 6 or 7 wins.
I still feel really good about 6 wins.
I think there's like, you're gonna get Kyler Gordon back. You might get TJ Edwards back after the bye. You might, like, get a nice little offensive adjustment in the bye, it doesn't make me feel anything. I feel no difference.
But that's where I'm saying where this game kind of has some potential, because it's like, okay, so if you're going to prove my prediction wrong, this is the moment now.
You need to come out and like actually play really well against the Commanders. Because I can see the game script of how this team beats the Commanders and beats them like pretty well with a good strategy. I can see how this team comes out of the bye and takes a tired Commanders team that only has, like, Jaden Daniels might sit one more week. I don't think so, but he might sit one more week. He might come out rusty. You come out healthy. You send Kyler Gordon on blitzes, or Kyler Gordon's the spy on Jaden Daniels, and you come out and you've changed your offensive identity a little bit because you realize what's going on the first 4 weeks is not sustainable. If Ben Johnson is the secret genius mastermind that everybody tells me that he is, then he might have to come out and do something. I would really have liked to have heard that the Bears have traded for a running back by now. I think it's too late. If I had my way, Alvin Kamara for like a 6th or a 7th, like, I don't care. Like, let Alvin Kamara finish his fucking career in Chicago. I don't care.
Yeah, you know what really hurts.
But I would like to see like them come out and beat the Commanders by 10.
See, and here's the disconnect is no. However, when the defense hands you 4 turnovers, I don't want you to wind up in situations where you have to win by blocking a damn field goal. I expect this offense to take care of business, and it's not about blowing every team out. It's about, dude, when you need to control the ball, control the ball. Like the best thing about the Dallas game, the best thing about the Dallas game to me was that 19-play drive. And to me, going on it on 4th down there, like the cherry on top is getting that 7. However, like, dude, I come out of that with at least 3, and I'm totally satisfied because I just killed the clock like a mother. You know what I mean? Like, that was the whole point of that drive, and then to just come away with any points is such a positive, right? So it's not blowing every team out. It's being
that's
leading
why it's
the team
so hard for people nowadays to understand nuance. Like, so you're telling me you're okay with moving forward 3-4 turnover games and winning by 1 point because it's a win? Like, that's not fucking good enough.
Style points matter right now.
What you did against the Raiders is not good enough. You barely won. It wasn't good enough.
Your defense
not even close.
Overperformed.
So again, if that's okay, if one part of the team is going to overperform while the other part of the team is underperforming, guess what? You end up with a 500 or under 500 ball club. Like, what do you think good teams are doing? Like, just taking defense off while the offense carries? No, good teams is defense is dominating, offense is dominating, and that's how you get scores in the NFL when you turn on your fucking apps and you see 34-0, 21-0, 21-7, 28-10. Like, the idea,
points off turnovers, man. Like you talked about,
the idea of turning on a fucking app and seeing the Bears up 30-10 because they got 4 turnovers that game is not a ridiculous idea. It's not. We're not saying something ridiculous. And it's like, oh, you want perfection? No, I don't want fucking perfection. But if my team got 4 turnovers by halftime, they shouldn't be tied or losing.
Yeah, it was 3 at half, I believe.
3 at halftime. They shouldn't be tied or losing. Definitely.
And like I said, the expectations are high. And then at the end of the day, dude, there's still a lot of obstacles to overcome here. Like I said, playoff experience is one of the biggest ones. Even if you get to be at a point where you are good and somehow these other teams fail and you make the playoffs, there's still little to no playoff experience on this team. Like, you still don't know what you're going to do when push comes to shove and things get real. So, like, to me, that's still yet another thing that we don't even know if we're going to get there. You know what I mean? But obviously, that's the idea. But, dude, like I said, this division is so damn tough. I really think that all these three other teams are still just excellent teams. I mean, dude, the Lions are taking care of business still. I was told they're going to collapse. I was told they're going to wind up with 5-6 wins, and we're going to take their place.
Not
And
by me.
No, I know. I said, yeah, they might take a step back and wind up with 10 wins still.
I'm gonna win so much money this offseason predicting that the Lions were still gonna be good. Dude, I can't even tell you.
Dude, they're not only good, they're really damn good.
They're really fucking good. Solid. Dude, I have so much riding on them being good.
Yeah, and I mean that's team in your division. Like you have to sit there and get to a point of confidence with this team, and I'm just not there yet. I'm not confident about anything. Like we said, if it's the 4-0 Colts or the 1-3 Chiefs, who are you more confident in making the playoffs? Yeah, the 1-3 Chiefs, because that team has built the right to earn the confidence, right? Like it's a real thing, dude. It is. And with this team, we're still going into every game kind of clueless and just like, dude, I said it, sketch it on the side of Hallis Hall. Let's hope to get lucky.
Yeah. It's so frustrating. Even like I don't want to pick on Vizzo Joe, but he's participating, so it's like,
yeah, you're the only guy in our chat, Viz. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Viz. Like appreciate you commenting. So we'll talk to you. Like if you're developing while getting wins, even if they're ugly, it's a good thing. I don't
because of Ben Johnson's first year, but usually it's not.
The only thing I don't like about that statement is saying developing is random and it's arbitrary. If Caleb was fucking dominating every game and was the leading or a top 5 passer in the league, but you were 1-3, you'd be like, well, at least we're still developing and we're 1-3, so that's a good thing. And if you were 4-0, but Caleb sucked and the rest of your team was good, you wouldn't be saying we're developing. You'd be saying we're missing a quarterback. You'd be saying one of those random NFL things that's basically fits into the thing. Right now, we're developing. It's a new system, but we're still winning. Let's see if that stains.
Diving into the word developing, that's what I explained it as. I need to see the floor rise. And let me even explain that a little further. Tom Brady, very early on in his career, had a 4-interception game. He never had one after that. Right? Like Peyton Manning had a terrible first year, then never missed the playoffs again.
I get what you're saying. Like if Caleb came out against the Commanders and had an absolute like wet fart, 100 yards, 2-interception game, would you be shocked?
No, but it's what you're saying. But then, like, give me 2 complete games out of the 4. If you bomb one of them, I get it, and you're still young and whatever. But like those complete games, that is huge. That needs to start repeating, and that needs
out of 4 games. Out of 4 games this season, how many complete games has Caleb had this year?
1. Out of all the games last year, I would argue 1 3/4 of the Jaguars game, so almost 2. Like
so, I need like
quarter was abysmal.
This is the thing. It's like we're the haters. We want 5 to 6 absolute, just like dick on the table. Caleb comes out, is the best player on the field games this season. 5, hopefully 6.
And I don't care if the dick is painted with nail polish or not. That doesn't matter.
Yeah, paint it pink. I don't care. Like that's my point. Is like. People are, you're too mean. We're too hatery. We want 5 out of 17 games where your quarterback, whether he wins or loses, is absolutely dominating everybody on the field. Like, is that too much to ask of a first overall pick in his second year with the best coordinator in the league?
For real.
Like,
yeah,
5. Give me 5. 5 just absolutely dick on the table. Kick everyone's ass like you have Roma Dunze. Like, give me 5 of those per year.
Dude, and the way this team is built, they're built in a way where you're going to need 5 or more. Like,
If you
because
want
you got to lean on
you
the
want
offense,
8 to
man.
10 wins, he's got to win 5 of them for you.
Yeah,
At least.
right. No, that's exactly right.
So,
David.
next week, Commanders play the Chargers. Right? Chargers do look really good this year, but they are still the Chargers. So, like, I don't know if you want to do a game prediction this week or next week, but I feel like, let me finish. If we watch the Commanders get their asses kicked by the Chargers, I think our opinions on the win might be a little bit skewed and say the Bears might actually beat the Commanders because look at what the Chargers did to them. So I kind of want to do a game prediction now, only because.
But injuries are a real thing too. I don't know. I'd
Yeah,
rather
well, if Jaden Daniels tears his ACL next week, I guess.
I'd rather do it because next week we're going to be joined hopefully by Just Another Year, Chicago,
Yeah.
Nick. And yeah, it would be cool to kind of do game prediction with him. So yeah, let's save that. Let's
Should be a good week of football.
I think so.
Well, I looked at the schedule. That's actually a terrible week of football. That might be the best game of the week.
Yeah, dude, just general NFL talk, right? What are your feelings so far about this year and the teams that are playing well and dominating?
I think it is the most. I think we noticed this last year, but the mediocre teams are as the top tier of teams is incredibly tiny, and the bottom tier of teams is incredibly tiny. It used to be like 5 bad teams and like 5 really, really good teams. It's shrunk. It's like 2 to 3 really, really, really good teams. And then it's like 2 to 3 really, really, really bad teams. And that middle is an even bigger clusterfuck. So, like, the Saints competing with Buffalo last week is kind of unheard of if you go back 5 years in the NFL. So,
so like just to compare situations, if I'm a Buffalo fan, I'd take that win all day.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you know what you are, but you know what your team is. Like you want to stack those wins. Like it's different.
It is annoying.
We're in.
It is annoying that right now a Philly Buffalo Super Bowl is just the most obvious kind of like paint by numbers thing in the world.
I'm high on Tampa this year.
But Tampa's like 3-1, 2-2.
I'm not sure what the record is. But watching them play, I have been really, really impressed.
If they're healthy, they're 3-1. I agree. I'm impressed too. Baker's awesome.
People forget, when were they in the NFC Championship?
3 years ago?
2 years ago. Yeah, they were the people. They were the ones. They lost to. They lose to Philly, right?
Yeah.
They lost to Philly. Yep. And then last year it was Washington that made that, but Tampa still made the playoffs last year. I think they are clicking, man, and I like the way that team's built, and I like that way the team's operating, and they're really under the radar. I'm really impressed with them, and I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with later on in the year.
Yeah, I think it's 4 games in the NFL is just such an annoying part of the season because we're so locked in because it's the early part of the season. It's kind of it sucks because it's the only sport where the first like 6 weeks don't matter, but every single person is the most interested because you have no idea where your team is at. But then by like mid-season, you know if your team sucks or is good, and so you lose interest. But that's when the real NFL season starts, is like 8 weeks in, because those last 8 weeks are really what fucking matter. But if your team is like 2-6, you're kind of whatever. But the teams that matter, that's when the real season starts. If you're 4-5, 5-4, 9 games in, you better keep paying attention, man. Because like that shit, 5-4 halfway through the season in the NFL, shit, dude. Like you could end up anywhere.
Right, dude. I had it in fantasy football once, and I know fantasy football is a completely different mindset and whatnot. But I went 7-1, and I was like, "Fuck," because I knew I hit my peak too early. I knew when push came to shove, I'm gonna lay flat because I hit it too early, and that's exactly what happened. And so, like, that's also a real thing too. Momentum. Like, we've seen a 6 seed, 9-7 New York Giants team go off and beat the Patriots, who were at that time 17-0, right? Because they rode the momentum. Dude, they were 9-7, 6th seed, but they got hot. They got real hot, and they rode that out. And you want that to come at the very end of the season. You want to have your shit figured out by then. But then, yeah, no, you're right. Once that mid-season point comes, you start really positioning yourself in your division for the playoff outlook. And that's when those games matter so much more, or they don't matter so much more, right? Like,
Yeah.
you kind of know which position you're in, regardless of how you started, whether it was good or bad. But, dude, good starts are always better to get you in there. But I hear you, man. We've seen some inflated teams over the years as well. So, yeah, it is what it is. But I like I said, for our Bears, I definitely hope this positive performance like we saw from Dallas continues, and not the performance we saw against the Raiders. Win regardless. That is the most important thing. That buys you a bigger leash. However, it's way more important to just continue to repeat the execution and the control over the offense, because that is so much more important than anything else right now for Caleb and this team. So, David, I don't know. Do you have anything else?
No, I think I'm pretty much good for the week, man.
All right. Well, thank you to everybody that joined us. Thank you, Viz, for chiming in on chat. Viz says Rams are his sleeper team. I mean, dude,
Not a bad
that's
pick.
as good of a sleeper team as any, man, because they have totally the capability to sit there and, yeah, go all the way. I mean, they've done it. So, yeah, thank you to everybody for chiming in. Thank you for everybody for watching. Next week, like I said, we're going to be joined by Nick from Just Another Year Chicago, so we're excited to have him on, hopefully. He was supposed to be on with us tonight, but it got pushed back to next week, so we'll see how that goes. But, yeah, I'd love to pick his brain a little bit, get his opinion. David, he's big time now. You know that, right?
I did. I watched him. He was kicking ass.
Yeah, so, no, Nick's the real deal now, so, yeah, we're happy to have a relationship with him. And then I think Jacob Infante will join us sometime in December, as if we're going to be playing football in January. No. Sometime December, he's going to join us when his Wednesdays free up a little bit. So, yeah, thank you to everybody. Bear down. We appreciate you guys participating in, agree or disagree, whatever. Always feel free to comment in the chat. And, yeah, man, we'll entertain whatever conversation, right? So, yep, bear down, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
All right, and then I guess we can wish some good luck for the Cubs, right?
Ready to go. Good protection. Lines it up for DJ Moore to the end zone. Touchdown! Take the shotgun snap. Late pressure fired. Ball carries him. Ball is out. It's out